Darren Haydar isn't normally on the receiving end of a lot of criticism and speculation. This isn't normal.
He's caught up in a little bit of that veteran thing. I mean, having 6 veterans, and yeah, and Darren, you know what? Obviously, you know, he's a guy that I've coached against for years, and that you know, he's a guy that's offensively is, you know, a dynamic player. I think that, you know, this scenario with the NHL being in a lockout, it's affected guys like Darren, Matheson. It's affected Sterling. It's affected these guys that are usually your constant star players on your American League team. All of a sudden there's an influx of 4 or 5 NHL guys that come in, and it steals a little bit of their ice time, and it steals a little bit of their responsibility. You know, you're trying to make sure that those guys are playing and doing what they need to do, and you need your veteran guys because you don't know. I mean, if the NHL goes back, then you got to rely on those kind of players. But right now the game is running very fast. It's a very fast game, and some of these young guys that are down here are creating that, you know, that tempo of the game. And you know, for Darren, it's been a little bit of a struggle. But you know, the other night against Rockford, one of our best players on the ice obviously finally got a goal, and I'm sure it took a big weight off his shoulders. And he's been very good as our captain. He's been very patient, and he's understood, you know, that there are 27 guys, that there are 6 veterans, and but I'd like to think that, you know, he keeps playing like that. He's gonna, you know, I've always said to them, make it very difficult on me to take care of the lineup, and when he's doing those kind of offensive things, especially, then it's an easy decision.
Definitely part of a unique season is having not only more guys or younger guys, but having guys who are ready to take that next step. And of course the organization wants to make sure those guys are ready if and when an NHL season does start. So I have to understand that that's going to, I don't want to say diminish my role, but take away a few minutes here and there from me. And for myself to play at my best, I need to have those minutes to feel confident and comfortable, and to make the plays that I'm used to making, and making myself be noticeable out on the ice.
When his role changed, so did his nightly contribution to the scoreboard.
I know my job is to come to the rink and produce offensively every day. To get on the score sheet is the reason why I'm here, and that's something that I do take pride in. But when it's not coming, if you start to put too much pressure on yourself, and I think I was for a few games, just to sit back and to try and look at it from an outsider point of view, or going home watching game tape. Certain situations where I am gripping a little bit tight, I just need to relax and let it take care of itself, because I know I am going to get those chances. I am going to get you know, pass from teammates, and I just got to allow it to happen.
I think with Darren Haydar, we expect so much out of him, and when we don't get to that high level, you know, he's still playing well, but we expect more, because we've seen him at his peak. We've seen him, you know, in his heyday when it was just so natural for him to score. And then he got a little snake bitten. He's hit more post and crossbars and goalies that wrote, and he's hit guys' legs and everything like that. And it felt bad for him because he didn't have a goal for a long time. And he was still getting the chances. He was still setting guys up, and it wasn't happening. And he went through probably the toughest time of his career, I think, of lack of scoring. And the problem is that we expect so much out of him that if it's not there. Now, if he was just an average player, he would have been playing good. But when you expect so much out of Darren Haydar, that's the problem. And he has turned the corner. You know, pucks are starting to go in for him. You know, he constantly sets guys up for, you know, prime scoring chances. And you know, he's had a few games where he should have had a, you know, 4 or 5 point game, and I think he ended up with 1 or 2 because of we couldn't put the puck in the net.
But it doesn't matter what role he occupies, Darren Haydar is going to score goals.
I'm not going to beat, you know, a 1-on-2, turn it into a breakaway and score that type of a goal, but I will score timely goals based on positioning and based on my knowledge of the game and being in the right spots at the right time. And I think I'm just learning to adapt to the players I'm playing with. It's because of the lockout, because of our veteran rule, we've had to change a lot of our line combinations because of having 4 forwards as veterans. One of us rotating in and out, things like that. Our lines have changed quite a bit, so it's something else I'm getting used to. And I think Wendell's right. It's for myself. I think at the start of the year I was putting a lot of pressure on myself as as a few more games went by where I wasn't scoring or getting points, but I felt like I wasn't being a liability on the ice and hurting the team. My plus minus was pretty good, and I'm not giving up a lot of chances in terms of turnovers and things like that. So I'm just trying to stay patient and allow that to take care of itself, and I know the points and goals are going to come.
His lack of offensive production early on isn't the only criticism Haydar faced recently. In an article on NHL.com recently written about Darren, the weaker points of his game were examined. We gave him a chance to respond.
Part of Johnny's comments were saying that I need to play on 20 games and play on a regular power play to see what I bring to the table. I think that's right on the money. I was hoping Johnny would be one of those type of coaches that would give me that opportunity, and I'm, who knows whether he's had that say or pull to be able to do so. But I definitely agree with that, and I've never been anyone's project. I've never been anyone's first-round draft pick. To give myself that opportunity, I've tried to work through putting up stats in the American Hockey League, and it's, like I said in the article, it's the cards that I was dealt, and I'm happy I'm playing hockey. I'm happy I'm playing for the Chicago Wolves, because in the American Hockey League, there's no other organization I'd rather play for. I definitely don't think it. I respect Craig Button, but I definitely disagree. I don't think he's seen me play enough or in enough consecutive games to see what I bring to the table, and that's the easy way for someone to point and say that I have flaws. Every hockey player has flaws, and I think that over the course of my career, everybody has wanted me to be that third, fourth line player, and I understand that to become a first, second line dynamic player in the National Hockey League, that coaches believe you have to be a dynamic skater or have a little bit of a bigger size. But until you give someone an opportunity, it's not football. It's not the combines where you're based on skating from the goal line. There's a lot of thinking involved in the game of hockey, and I think that's definitely something that coaches, management definitely underappreciates. It seems that everyone's going mainstream on smaller guys have to be able to skate, versus if you can think your way around the ice. That's what's kept me around in this league, is being able to think. And Craig Button's comments I definitely disagree with, and I know there's a lot of people that have those same feelings and comments about my game, but until you try someone in that situation, if you believe in them, which is I don't feel that anyone has believed in me in terms of giving me that opportunity, otherwise I would have had it by now.
But Darren's priority and focus isn't on his critics, it's on his team, and he thinks the ship he captains is well on the way to righting itself.
We're looking up as a team. We've got a lot of injuries at that, and a lot of our key players are out, which is, we're finding ways to win when we have all these injuries, and I think that's something that, as an older guy on the team, trying to hold everybody together, everybody fills their role and learns how to play, and I think that's something that I can be proud of, is in the room trying to help everybody and myself find my way to helping this team win games.